Hi everyone, Namaste. I hope all are doing good and so do hard work. So all the best for the whatever the coming exams are there. So NEET exam is very near. So please be hard work. Now in the last class we completed first part of the chemical kinetics. So in that chapter we completed what is Wright law, what is order and what is molecularity. All this we completed. So say this one example. Ester on hydrolysis in presence of acid medium, they produce carboxylic acid and alcohol. So this is an elementary reaction. Take this is a elementary reaction. Elementary means simple reaction. So in this simple reaction, if anyone is asking what is molecularity, so directly we can say molecularity will be 2. Why? Because number of molecules colliding or number of molecules participating is called molecularity. So here 2 molecules are there, one water molecule and one ester molecule. Molecularity will be 2. And anyone is asking what is order? So order is experimental value. When they are giving rate law, like rate is equal rate constant into CH3COO C2H5 whole power 1. So this is experimentally calculated rate law. So here water is not present. That means experimentally it is identified that the concentration of water is constant. It does not change as the rate. So here order is 1. Order is 1 but molecularity is 2. So in such reaction when molecularity order are different, then such reactions we are simply called pseudo first order reactions. So this is important. So pseudo first order. So what is pseudo first order means? The elementary reactions where the order and molecularity must be different. So order seems to be 2, but actually order will be 1. So that is experimentally calculated. Why actually here order is 1? Here ester on hydrolyzing with water. So water is mostly present in excess amount. So because it is available, so we can take this excess amount. So when one molecule of this ester combines with one molecule of water, remaining whatever excess water is there. Suppose we are taking 100 moles of water. Only 1 mole combines with this ester. Remaining 99 moles of water is there. So because of excess amount, a small amount does not change the concentration. So water concentration is always constant. Because of that constant concentration, rate does not depend on water. Only depends on ester. So here order is 1. But molecularity means number of molecule colliding or number of molecule participating. So definitely even excess water is there, but definitely one molecule of water will combine with ester. So molecularity must be 2, order must be 1. So such reactions where order molecularities are different, such reactions are called pseudo first order reactions. Another example same like C12H22O11 sucrose on hydrolysis produce glucose and fructose. In this reaction is also we can say molecularity will be 2 and rate law experimentally calculated K into C12H22O11 whole power 1. So that means order is 1. So it must be elementary reaction. Remember that applicable to elementary reactions. In those elementary reactions, when molecularity orders are different, such reactions are called pseudo first order reactions. So these 2 are main examples: hydrolysis of ester in acid medium, also hydrolysis of sucrose in acid medium. So these 2 are important of pseudo first order reactions. Just simple definition. Whenever one of the reagent present in excess amount, it does not change the rate. So the order of that reagent, excess reagent will be 0. So that's why order will be 1 but molecularity will be 2. such reactions are called pseudo first order reactions. So we completed order and molecularity. Some important formulas we derived. Actually derivations are not required, but still I am deriving how the formulas are came. So we'll start integrated rate constant equations. So the first for zero order. For zero order reactions, so we are deriving integrated rate constant formula. So we know that in any reaction, reactants are converted to products. So R means reactant. Since it is a zero order reaction, according to rate law, rate is equal to K into concentration of reactant whole power order. We are taking order equals 0, so power will be 0 order. Rate is equal to K into R power 0. So we know that rate formula minus dR by dt. Because minus is for reactant. Reactant sign will be negative. Change in concentration of reactant by change in time. So now which is equal to K into something goes 0 will be 1. That is simply K. From this, so take negative sign that side. So dR is equal minus K into dt. So if we are doing integration, integration of dr is equal minus integration of K into dt. So from where to where we are doing integration, see this, at time t is equal to 0. So time is 0, which means actually reaction is not started. So the concentration we are taking as R0. So R0 means initial concentration. Remember it? So this is initial concentration. Similarly, at the time T is equal to T, the final concentration we are taking as R. So R means final concentration. Just these two formulas remember. R0 we are taking as initial, R we are taking as final. In some books, in place of R0 and R, they can give A0 and they can give A. So both are same. Any symbol we can use R0 R or A0 A. So R0 means initial concentration because at time is equal to 0. Reaction is not started. Final one, the initial one, both are same. But we are taking as R0. At time T, we are taking as final R. Now time 0 to time t we are integrating. From initial to after some time t we are integrating. So at 0 time concentration will be R0. This will be R. So from R0 to R we are doing. So integration of dr will become R. From R to R0. So this will become R minus R0. This will become K is actually constant. So we can take that outside. K into, so integration of dt will be t from t to 0. So this will become t minus 0. So we can write R minus R0 is equal minus kt. R is equal final, R0 is equal initial. Remember it. So from this, what is the time formula? Time is equal. Take this to the side. Kt we are taking this side and R0 we are taking that side. So this equation can be right. R0 minus R is equal to Kt. Just we are removing minus. So we get this equation R0 minus R is equal to Kt. So from this, time is equal to R0 minus R by K. So this is the final equation. Or we can use K here. Rate constant is equal to R0 minus R by time. Okay. R0 is initial, R is final, K is the rate constant. So we can also write graph here. So for this equation, r minus r naught is equal to minus kt. So from this we can write like this: r is equal, if r naught is going that side, it will become plus r naught. So minus kt plus r naught. So this we can take as y axis, t we are taking as x axis, k will be slope. So equation will become, graph will become like this: concentration versus time. So slope will be minus sign, so it will be like this. Slope will be minus k, so intercept will be r naught. So this is the zero order graph, concentration versus time. R versus t is equal, slope will be minus k, intercept will be r naught. So this is zero order. Just finally use this formula for calculation. T is equal to r naught minus r by k. R naught means initial concentration, r means final concentration. So k is the rate constant. So this is for zero order. Similarly, if you are calculating for first order, the integrated rate constant we are calculating for first order. So as usual, in any reaction, reactant is converted to product state. So rate equation, rate is equal to rate constant into concentration of reactant whole power order. Since we are taking first order, so this we can take as 1. Now this will become minus dr by dt is equal to k into r. So dt we are taking this side and r we are taking this side. So this will become dr by r is equal to minus k into dt. So negative sign also we are taking that side. So on integration both sides. So from integration of r naught to r, initial to final, dr by r, which is equal to minus of integration of 0 to t, k into dt. So integration of dr by r will become ln r. So log r we can write. So log can be based on 10 also, base e also. So base e we are taking as ln. So this will become ln r minus ln r naught. So integration of dr by r will become ln r from r to r naught. That means ln r minus ln r naught. So this is equal to negative sign, k is constant, minus k into integration of dt will become t from t to 0. So that means t minus 0. So from this we can write ln r is equal minus kt plus ln r naught. So ln r we are taking that side, will become plus ln r is equal to minus kt plus ln r. So for this we can write graph equation. Here the graph we are writing ln r versus t. So slope will become again minus k. Slope is equal to minus k. Intercept will be ln r naught. Intercept ln r naught. So that is the first order graph equation, ln r versus time. For zero order, r versus time. For first order, ln r versus time. So this is important. So although this we can convert it to final formula like this. So kt we are taking this side and this we are taking that side. So kt is equal to ln r naught minus ln r. So from this k is equal to 1 by t into ln a minus b we can take as ln r naught by r. So k is equal, if ln we are converted to log, so 2.303 will come. So 2.303 by t into log r naught by r. So this is the final formula. T we can take this side, K come this side. So both are same, either time or rate constant. So this is the first order rate constant formula, 2.303 by T log R naught by R. So first order graph, ln R versus time, zero order graph, R versus time. So that is the most important. So two formulas, either zero order, first order. Mostly from zero order, first order, numerical questions will come. So like this, not only for zero order, first order, any second order, third order, fourth order is given. So we can use the formula, the rate constant of nth order when we are using. We are using nth order here. N must be greater than or equal to 2. If the order is 2 or more, so we can use directly this formula. The time is equal 1 by n minus 1 into k into 1 by r whole power n minus 1 minus 1 by r naught whole power n minus 1. So this is important formula, rate constant of nth order or time of nth order. So k is equal 1 by n minus 1k into 1 by r. R means final concentration whole power n minus 1 minus 1 by initial concentration whole power n minus 1. So this is the nth order rate constant formula. But this n must be the 2 or more. For zero order and first order, so directly we have to use these formulas. But if second order, third order is there, we can use this formula. But mostly in any exam, numerically they will give us questions about either zero order, first order, 99% from zero order and first order. Just formula they can ask for nth order, not for calculation. Just for formula they can use nth order equation. So this is the time for nth order. So all these are the rate constant formulas. Now the next topic will be half-life. So denoted with T 1 by 2. So what is half-life means? In any chemical reaction, the reactant is converted to product. That means amount of reactant is decreased, whereas amount of product will be increased. So in any reaction, the initial amount of reactant is converted to half amount. Then how much time is required for that reaction is called half-life. In simple definition, it is the time required to decompose the initial amount of reactant into its half amount. Suppose initially we are taking 100 grams of reactant, it is decreases to 50 grams. So how much time it is taking for the reduction of 50 grams is called half time or half-life. So if T is equal to T half, the final concentration must be equal to initial concentration by 2. Because at T half time, final value always half of the initial value. Because half is decreased, the remaining final must be only half. That's why initial by 2. R is equal to R naught by 2. So this half-life value we are calculating for zero order and first order. For zero order we are calculating. We know the zero order time. Time is equal to R naught minus R by K. In place of T, if we are using T1 by 2, then this will become R naught minus R value will be R naught by 2. So R naught by 2 divided by K. So R naught minus R naught by 2 will become R naught by 2, also K is there. So this is the formula of half-life for the zero order. So T half is equal to R naught by 2K. K is constant, 2 is constant, R naught is initial concentration, which means half-life of a zero order reaction directly proportional to initial concentration. If initial concentration is changed, half-life is also changed. It is directed to initial concentration. So this is the formula. So similarly we can calculate for first order also. So this is for zero order. And for first order time formula 2.303 by k into log r naught by r. If this t we are writing as t half, it will become 2.303 by k into log. Initially is r naught, final value will be r naught by 2. R naught will be cancelled, 2 will go that side. So t half is equal to 2.303 by k into log 2. So log 2 value 0.301. So on multiplying, the final formula 0.693 by k. So this is the final formula of half-life for the first order. So in first order, T half is equal to 0.693 by k. K is also constant, numerical value also constant. So first order half-life is independent of initial concentration. Zero order half-life is directly proportional to initial concentration. Same like we can also calculate for nth order. So the nth order half-life formula, same like the rate constant formula we already get, so that we can substitute, so we can get nth order formula. So what is the rate constant for nth order? So time t is equal to 1 by n minus 1 into k into 1 by r whole power n minus 1 minus 1 by r naught whole power n minus 1. So this is the time formula for the nth order. In place of t, we are writing t half. The equation will become 1 by n minus 1 into k into final value is equal to r naught by 2. So this we can type 1 by r naught by 2 whole power n minus 1 minus 1 by r naught whole power n minus 1. So from this t half formula, so 2 power n minus 1 will go outside. So 2 power n minus 1. So this will be minus 1. Remaining LCM is same. R naught power n minus 1, R naught power n minus 1 divided by already n minus 1 into k is there into R naught whole power n minus 1. So this is the T half for nth order formula. So mostly zero order, first order they will ask zero order half-life formula R naught by 2k, first order half-life formula 0.693 by k, and this is nth order formula. So this is about half-life. So mostly four formulas are important. Rate constant of zero order, first order, half-life of zero order and first order. From these four formulas, numerical questions mostly they will give. So from this it is clear that half-life of any reaction, it can be zero order, first order or whatever, it is directly proportional to initial concentration whole power 1 minus n. Remember that this is the directly proportional to initial concentration whole power 1 minus n. N is the order. If it is zero order, n is equal to 0. Half-life is directly to initial concentration. So directly to initial concentration. If it is a first order, 1 minus 1 will be 0. That means it will be constant. So first order half-life is constant. Similarly, it is second order. It is R naught power minus 1. That means inversely proportional. So this is most important. Half-life of any reaction is directly to R naught whole power 1 minus n. Most important. So don't forget this. So all formulas we completed. Rate constant formulas and half-life formulas. So from this, numerical questions will come. So now the next topic is factors affect rate. So what are the factors which affect the rate of a reaction? So rate of a reaction depends on number of factors. So like that. First one is nature of reactants. So nature of reactants. If the nature of reactants are similar, so reaction rate will be fast. So in the solution chapter we completed that similar nature reactant will be easily soluble or highly soluble, whereas nature is different, solubility is less. So same like the rate of solubility is depends on its nature. Nature is similar, rate of solubility will be higher. So first factor is nature. Similarly, the second one, surface area. So number of factors are there. Just some important question explaining. So depends on first nature. So nature of reactants are similar. The rate is faster. Similarly, surface area of the reactant. If the reactant has more surface area, so more the rate of reaction. For example, we are taking water in a less surface area beaker. Also, you are taking in a more surface area beaker. Here also we are taking suppose 100 ml of liquid. Here also we are taking 100 ml of liquid. More the surface area, more the rate of evaporation. Because more surface molecules are there, so more the rate of evaporation. So rate of evaporation is directly proportional to surface area. So surface area is also important. The third one, concentration. For gaseous reaction, we can call it as a pressure. So already we seen that in rate law, rate is directly proportional to concentration of reactant. More the concentration of reactant, more the rate of the reaction. So rate is directly proportional to concentration of reactants. At the same time, the order also most important. If order is negative, rate will be inversely to concentration. If order is positive, rate is directly to concentration. The same like another factor, temperature. So temperature is also affect the rate of a reaction. So according to Arrhenius, so rate always directly proportional to temperature. So he says that in any chemical reaction, if you are increasing 10 degrees Celsius of or 10 Kelvin of temperature, then rate constant always becomes doubles. So that equation is called Arrhenius equation. We will see later. But temperature also increases the rate of the reaction. So nature of reactant, surface area, concentration, temperature. Another most important one is catalyst. So catalyst definition we all know that it is the additional substance which enhances the rate of a chemical reaction. So catalyst is also increases rate of reaction. How temperature increases, how catalyst increases, we will see now. But remaining are common. When nature of reactants are similar, rate will be faster. When surface area is more, rate will be high. Concentration increases, rate also increases since rate is directly proportional to concentration of reactant with some power value. Order is also important. If order is sometimes negative, then rate is decreases with concentration. So order is also important. Temperature and catalyst we will see. So the temperature factor is given by Arrhenius. This mathematical equation is called Arrhenius equation. So what the Arrhenius says that in any chemical reaction, if temperature is increased by 10 Kelvin, then the rate constant always will become 2 to 3 times increases. Not exactly 2, from 2 to 3 times rate constant will be increases. And temperature is increased by 10 Celsius. That means for every 10 Celsius increase of temperature, rate constant will becomes 2 to 3 times more. Normally we take 2 times, so rate constant always doubles. So mathematically given one equation, rate constant K is equal to A into e power minus EA by RT. So this is called Arrhenius equation. K is the rate constant, A is called Arrhenius factor, it is also constant, E is exponential form, MTLN form, minus EA by RT. So T is the temperature. When temperature increases, rate constant increases. How it is? We are applying ln from both sides. it will become ln k is equal to ln A minus ln and E will be cancelled minus EA by RT. So if temperature is high, this total value will become less because temperature is divided value. High temperature, so lesser the subtraction value, more the rate constant. So more the temperature, more the rate constant. Simply K and T both are directly proportional. So we are taking, we can write the graph also. So for this equation we are writing graph ln K versus 1 by T. So ln K versus 1 by T. So sign will be negative, slope will become negative. So slope is equal to minus EA by R. Intercept constant will be ln A. So this is Arrhenius graph ln K versus 1 by T. So from this we can write ln K1 is equal to ln A minus EA by R T1. At T1 temperature, rate constant we are taking as K1. Similarly at T2 temperature, ln K2 is equal to ln A minus EA by R T2. So from ln K2 minus ln K1 we are taking. So ln A will be cancelled. So this minus this, minus to minus will become plus. EA by R I am taking common. Remaining is 1 by T1 minus 1 by T2. So very simple, just both are subtracting. ln K2 minus ln K1. ln A will be cancelled. Minus EA by RT2. Minus into minus plus EA by RT1. So EA by R we are taking common. 1 by T1 minus 1 by T2. So this we can write ln K2 by K1. Log A minus log B. So you can write log A by B. So ln K2 by K1 is equal to EA by R into 1 by T1 minus 1 by T2. ln we can convert it to log. So log K2 by K1 is equal to 2.303 will go to divide value EA by 2.303 R into 1 by T1 minus 1 by T2. So this is the final equation. Log K2 by K1 is equal to EA by 2.303 R 1 by T1 minus 1 by T2. So this is also important equation. Why? Because sometimes they will give EA value, R value. So they will ask what is the ratio of K2 by K1. So this is also important. Now this is Arrhenius equation. So what Arrhenius says that in any chemical reaction, if you are increasing temperature, rate constant also increases. So experimentally found that for every 10 Celsius rise of temperature, rate constant is becoming double. That means 2 times increases. If you are increasing 10 degree, rate constant will become 2. If you are increasing 20, it will become 2 into 2, 4. If you are increasing 30, 2 into 2 into 2, 8 times. So like that, for every 10, we have to multiply with 2. So we get rate constant values. Now what is the value of EA here? EA is called activation energy. That is most important. If it's with increasing of temperature, rate constant or rate increasing. Why rate is directly proportional to temperature? So because of this activation energy. So what is activation energy is? In any chemical reaction, say this is a chemical reaction. Reactants are always converted to products. So this is called chemical reaction. So this is energy versus reaction coordinates. Reactants are converted to products. Now it is the energy of reactant. This much of energy for the reactant. Now this is the energy of product. Product has more energy than the reactant. When energy of product is more, that means energy is absorbed. When energy is gained, that is called endothermic reaction. So we all know that endo means energy absorbed. When energy absorbing, final value will be high, initial value will be low. That's why reactants have less energy than the product, that is called endo. Endo means energy of reactant is less than energy of product. Now this is energy of reactant, this is energy of product. The change in between product energy and reactant energy simply we call enthalpy. Enthalpy change. So enthalpy change represented with delta H. Product is high, minus low, delta H will be positive. And delta H is positive, that is called endothermic reaction. Now see this, in this reaction, it is endothermic reaction. In this reaction, reactant is converted to products. But in any reaction, directly reactant does not produce product. They always reach some intermediate stage. So this intermediate stage is called activated complex. So this is called activated complex. So to reach that barrier, reactants require some extra amount of energy. That extra amount of energy is called activation energy. So that means in any chemical reaction, reactants converted to products by absorbing some extra energy. That extra energy is called activation energy. If that energy is not present, then reaction does not take place. So in any chemical reaction, either it will be endo or it will be exo also. Some extra energy required for the reactants to convert it to products. So that extra energy is called activation energy. Same like we are taking a reaction like this. Observe this. So this is reactant. This much energy they have. These are the products. Here energy of reactant is greater than energy of product. So such reactions are called exo. Because initially more energy and they are losing and getting small amount of energy. So that is exo reaction. So this is called change in enthalpy. Delta H finally is small, initially is high, sign will be negative. So delta H is negative for exothermic reaction. Even it is exothermic reaction, reactants converted to products by absorbing some extra amount of energy. That is called activation energy. So in exothermic reaction, energy of reactants are greater than energy of product. In endothermic reaction, reactant is less than the product energy. But in any reaction, either it is endo or it is exo, reactants require some extra amount of energy to cross the energy barrier. That energy barrier we are calling as activated complex. So that required energy is called activation energy. So diagrams are important. Sometimes they will give symbols which has more energy, which has less energy. See this. This is activation energy when reactants are converted to product. If you are taking a reverse reaction means product is converted to reactant. So when you are going reverse side, they also require some this much of energy. So this is also called activation energy. So this is for backward and this is for forward. So here which is high? Forward energy is more than the backward energy. So the activation energy of forward more than the activation energy of backward when the reaction is endothermic. Similarly, when products react converted to reactants, so this much of energy is required. This is for backward and this is for forward. Here activation energy of forward is less than the activation energy of backward for exothermic reactions. So any symbol they can ask. Energy also they can ask. Activation energy also they can ask. So activation energy definition, it is the amount of energy required for the reactants to cross the energy barrier or to produce the product. So if you are increasing temperature, so because all reactant does not contain more energy, but when we are increasing temperature, so temperature means we are using heat energy. So reactant can absorb that heat energy, so they can cross energy barrier easily. So that means rate will become higher. So more the temperature, more the rate. Why? Because reactants will absorb that energy and they will easily cross the energy barrier. So that's why, because of this activation energy, rate of reaction is directly proportional to temperature. Experimentally, Arrhenius found that for every 10 Celsius rise of temperature, rate constant is becoming double, sometimes 2 to 3 times. So why? Because of reactants are getting more energy by heat energy. So this is about temperature. Similarly, catalyst also increases rate of the reaction. How catalyst increases rate of reaction? See this, same reaction I am taking. Reactants converted to products. So this is the reactant and this is the product. So take as a endothermic reaction. So this is reactant product. This will be energy and reaction coordinate. So this is the energy barrier and this required energy, activation energy. So this is the activation energy. What is this difference? Product minus reactant should be change in enthalpy. So product is higher, enthalpy sign will be positive. So this is endothermic reaction. Now see this. So when we are giving energy, they will reach the energy barrier and will produce the product. So rate will be increases. Suppose we are not using any heat energy. So without any external energy, just we are adding catalyst. So what the catalyst will do is, catalyst will changes the path of the reaction. Initially without catalyst, reaction is going like this. But whenever we are adding catalyst, so catalyst will proceed that mechanism where the required activation energy will be less. That means when you are adding catalyst, reaction will go like this. So here also reactants are converted to product. Initially also reactants are converted to product. But initially this much energy is required. But after adding catalyst, the required energy, activation energy, what is happening is decreasing. Initially this much energy is required. But after adding catalyst, this much energy is required. That means catalyst decreases activation. Why it is decreasing means? Because it changes the path of mechanism in such a way that less energy is required. Initially, this is the path, it required more energy. But catalyst takes that path, which requires less energy. So, catalyst does not changes rate constant, only changes the rate. Remember, catalyst does not changes equilibrium, does not changes rate constant, does not changes any other constant, even does not changes enthalpy. Initially, this is enthalpy. After adding also, that is enthalpy. So catalyst does not changes enthalpy, does not changes equilibrium, does not changes even rate constant also does not change. Only rate will change. So rate always increases by catalyst by decreasing activation energy. Catalyst decreases activation energy of forward also, backward also. So initially this is energy required. After adding catalyst, this is energy is required. If we are taking reverse reaction, initially this much energy is required, but after adding catalyst, only this much energy is required. So that means catalyst changes activation energy of both forward as well as backward simultaneously. That's why it does not changes enthalpy, it does not changes any other constants. So remember also, rate constant only depends on temperature. Rate depends on number of factors, but rate constant depends on temperature. So it does not depend on catalyst, does not depend on surface area because that is a constant. So constant values only depends on temperature. So this is about catalyst. Catalyst changes the path of the mechanism. So mostly all we completed. So another theory is the collision theory. Collision theory. So this collision theory mostly applicable to gaseous reactions. So why? Because so gaseous molecules will collide with each other and they produce products. In any gaseous reaction, the formation of product depends upon how many number of collisions are taking place. So that's why the theory is called collision theory, applicable to gaseous reactions. Let A gas combining with B gas, producing product. What this collision theory says that the formation of product by a gaseous reactions depends on number of collisions. So that means rate of the gaseous reaction is equal to number of collisions between A and B. A and B collision produce product AB. So product AB I am writing. So A and B collide, produce AB product. So if more collisions of AB is there, more product of AB product is there. So the rate of reaction is equal to number of collisions. That number of collisions denoted with Z. Z is called collision frequency. ZAB means number of collisions between A and B. Along with exponential power of e power minus EA by RT. So this total term represents the number of molecules whose energy is greater than or equal to activation energy. So not only number of collisions will produce product, whatever the molecules colliding, their energy must be either equal or greater than the activation energy. Because we already seen that if reactants does not contain any activation energy, they does not produce product. Only those molecules will convert it to product when they reach to activated complex. So that means whoever the molecules have that much energy, only they can collide and they will produce the product. So this is the fraction of molecules whose energy is equal or greater than activation energy, and this is the number of collisions. After that, a small modification is done that rate is equal to some probability factor P also multiplied with ZAB into e power minus EA by RT. So this is the final formula. Rate of a gaseous reaction is equal to probability factor. What is your probability factor is ZAB denotes total number of collisions, but all collisions does not produce product. Collisions must be in proper orientation. So what is proper orientation means? For example, if CH3Cl combining with OH, the product must be CH3OH plus Cl minus. So it is a nucleophilic substitution reaction. In place of Cl, OH is substituted. But here, on this molecule when both are colliding, so it can be collided with H, Cl, it can be collided with H, or it can be collided with this H. Number of collisions are possible, but all collisions does not produce product. Whenever this OH is combining with carbon, then only OH will be attached on carbon. So that is important. So where the collision is taking place, on which direction collision is taking place, so that is also most important. So how many number of proper collisions are there, that represented with P. P is called probability. So we cannot calculate how many number of collisions are possible. Just that we are taking as a probability factor. So P is the number of proper or effective collisions. Total number of collisions and number of molecules whose energy equal or greater than activation energy. So the rate of a gaseous reaction depends on all these factors: number of effective collisions, total number of collisions, also number of molecules whose energy either equal or greater than the activation energy. So this is the collision theory. So this is about chemical kinetics. So whatever the doubts you are having, you can ask me. So I will send one assignment, solve that questions. So whatever the doubts you are there, you can ask. So thank you very much.